Route 66. We're getting in there. A town called Severin. I've got some personal history with this. Back in the late 18th and early 19th century, Austrian Hungarian Empire had built three major roads to connect various parts of Croatia. They were called the Josephine, the Caroline, and the Luisiana. I'm currently standing at an important crossing on this Louisiana road, which is sometimes compared to the historic Route 66 in the US because of its historic significance and popularity with motorists. Now, this one is also kind of dear to me, but I'll tell you more about it a little bit later. Now, it's still quite a popular and therefore noisy road, so let's go take a drive and see if we can find anything to photograph. This is one of the places that never fails to put a smile on my face whenever I pass by, because these words, they say literally lamb and pork. Where's pork? Pork's over there. While US folks have their pit barbecue joints, we had these kind of rudimentary roadside restaurants which served, well, spit roast lamb and pork with a couple of basic sides and maybe a beer. The road was littered with these back in the day, but nowadays, most of them had fallen into heavy disrepair, which I think is a shame. A couple of them are still open and they're still serving this delicious meat. I might take you into one of those one of these days, but not today. Today we've got something special planned. Yeah, that was optimistic. There's no way we're getting in there, which is a shame. Too bad we can't get in. Seems like there's an awful lot of interesting photos to be made in there. Wow, there's still some plates left on the table. Oh, man, I wish I could get in there. I stopped at this little small town called Severin, which I figured was an important landmark in this route because all of the buses that were traveling from Zagreb toward the coastline, towards Rijeka, used to make their first major rest stop here. So if you had to take a leak or maybe even throw up, which the little kids would, you had to wait. This is like, I think, 100 kilometers from Zagreb. So we would have to wait all the way from Zagreb to this place to, you know, do your business. Yeah, an important piece of history.
Unlike at that previous location, I was able to get inside of this building and I got some really cool photographs. But unfortunately, I forgot to take my video camera. Well, actually, I didn't forget to take it. I just didn't want to take it because even though the door was open, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be in there or not.
Talking about this road and its history and photographing all of its photogenic relics is all good and well, but I think it would be really unfair not to mention one, well, fact I guess, which is really important to this area called Gorski Kotar. And that is the fact that a lot of its residents during the World War II decided to join the anti-fascist forces through Croatian partisans. A lot of them didn't make it. And there are all these monuments which are a testament to their sacrifice, which I think is important we remember and keep. Now this is cool. Let me show you something. This is the original Milestone, I guess.
Let's see if I can read what it says. It seems like it's in German. 12 Meilen von Fiume, 6 Meilen von Karlstadt. It'll mean like 12 miles from Rijeka and 6 miles from Karlovac.
That's definitely not where we are. There's more to Rijeka and there's even more to Karlovac. Huh. 1,300 shoes over the sea. That's odd. 13,000 shoes. Now Roy's motel's probably been shot to death, so here's an interesting alternative. It's called Motel Verbos, and it overlooks the small town of Verbos, which is really beautiful and gorgeous with these mountains in the backdrop, especially if you catch it on a winter's day with fresh snowfall or in that late afternoon summer glow. And while I'm here, I might as well explain a little bit about what I'm actually doing here and why am I doing this drive down the memory lane and visiting all these memorial sites. Well, my good pen pal Kyle McDougall talked about this in a couple of his videos where he explained how it's important to just go out and create work and give yourself photography projects, but also how it's very important not to try to force things, like not try to explain them and give them meaning right away, but rather just go where your interest and your heart takes you and create some work, and how meaning will organically emerge with time. So that's what I'm doing here. I really like this area. I mean, it's gorgeous, just look at it. It's really beautiful, and I find a lot of photography, interesting photography subjects. So I decided to come here a couple of times whenever the circumstances will allow for it, to create some work and see if anything comes out of it. Oh, and have some fun along the way.
Anyways, I gotta go. I always burn a bunch of time at these locations because they're so cinematic, photogenic, if you will. And the days are still short, so I got about an hour, maybe two hours of light. So I'm afraid I'm not gonna finish this video today, but it doesn't matter, I'm having fun. But now I'm getting hungry, so let's go eat.
mentioned at the beginning of this video that this road has had a special place in my heart, so I figured I'd give you a bit of a backstory. When I was about 3, my parents got divorced and I was raised by my mom and my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, who owned a little seaside house at a town called Selce. Now, before Zagreb-Rijeka highway was built, the Luisiana road was basically the lifeline of this whole area. And also very conveniently, it connected Zagreb, where we lived, with this place where we had our summer house. So I've traveled up and down this road many times in my grandpa's busted old orange Volkswagen Beetle, which reeked of petrol. And when you combine that with the twists and curves in the road, that was a recipe for disaster, especially for a little kid. But I loved those summers, and I loved my grandparents, especially my grandpa. He was like a father to me, taught me most everything I know. So yeah, you can say I've got some personal history with this Louisiana road. Now this is as far as the road goes. We don't own our house in Selce anymore. Grandpa is long gone, and I guess it's time to go home. The highway style. Catch you guys and gals in the next one.